You know, it's very rare that a bad movie, I say, has one good scene. Just one. That's it.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Hey guys, this is Julian Green and welcome to The Green Room. Alright, so to catch you up to speed, I did a live stream last night of when I saw When the Bough Breaks. So if you guys want to see my reaction after the movie, I'll link that in the description down below. I also did my first unboxing. That video is going to go up along with this one when it's ready. As you can see, my computer's right there loading it up. But you know what? Let's get this out the way. I know what you came here for. When the Bough Breaks. Alright, When the Bough Breaks is a movie starring Morris Chestnut and Regina Hall as this married couple who has pretty much everything. They have a great house, successful careers, and everything's going pretty well for them. The only thing that's not is that they can't have a baby. That's when they enlist the help of Jazz Sinclair's character, who I'm just going to affectionately call the crazy chick. Actually, it's not going to be affectionate. She's just the crazy chick. So after appearing to be a perfect match for them and her thinking that she's a perfect match for her, they decide to make her the surrogate of their child. What can go wrong, right? So I already said that this movie looks a lot like Obsessed and what was that movie with Michael Ealy, The Other Guys, something like that. And yeah, I didn't have high expectations for this movie. I didn't. The thing that I thought that it can give me was something at least a little bit entertaining as Obsessed, because I like Idris Elba in that movie and I love Morris Chestnut as well. But I'm gonna just come out and say it, like, this movie is poo. Like, it's ew. This movie is sewage mixed with dead bodies, human dead bodies, and maybe you could throw an alien in there somewhere, and it gets in your mouth as you're trying to slug through it, and it just doesn't stop, and then you poop it out, and then it comes back again. It's just nah. Now, the one thing I will say about this movie is that I really like Morris Chestnut. Morris Chestnut is a very capable actor. He's very good. Loved him in all his movies like Boys in the Hood, The Best Man, even The Best Man Holiday. I even liked him in American Horror Story. But I think this guy's agent needs to get fired because his performances do not warrant the movie that he's in. Same thing with Regina Hall. With Regina Hall, I think it was going a little bit the opposite for her. She was on the up and up in a lot of movies that she was in. And this movie just takes her pretty good performance and turns it into something just, man, it's like we took a step back. The first thing I realized you know what, I'm gonna just say it. This whole review is gonna be spoilers. So if you don't want to watch it, then turn it off right now. But I'll have you know that I don't want you to watch this movie. Please don't watch this movie. Don't. It's terrible. I haven't done my job if you go see this movie. Don't give your money to it. Don't give your time to it. Don't give your life to it. Alright, so where should I start? Alright, so I knew I was in for a treat when I saw that the movie at the top said introducing Jazz Sinclair, which usually means that this is a new actor or actress coming onto the big screen for the first time. Now, in that, I immediately, like within 5 minutes, I called BS because I saw you in Paper Towns, and I didn't like Paper Towns. I liked you in it, but I didn't like Paper Towns. So you don't get a second chance, okay? This is not your big break. Find something else. All right, so the movie opens with like the usual cliches. You set up the couple, you set up their problems with having a child, you set up clearly that they are trying to find a surrogate, and this woman looks very, very sweet. She's young, she doesn't know what to do with her life, but she knows that she has to give a child to this couple because they're so nice. Now, she has a boyfriend who's like in the army and he's about to get deployed in a little bit, and then when he comes back there's gonna be some money waiting for him. I don't know, whatever. But he's clearly the villain of the movie because he does that weird villain thing where he kind of like smiles and then stops smiling and then he like tilts his head to the side. Hold on, I'm gonna do it. Like, even when he's smoking a cigarette, he might as well just tattoo villain mustache twirler on his forehead because you're not being subtle, bro. Yeah, so after a bout of domestic violence with her, the couple decides to take her into the house and, you know, she's living with them because she's the surrogate. Now, this movie, like, the dialogue is very crap. There's random scenes that are placed. Like, after something will happen, you'll get, like, a random shot of the kitchen. Nobody in it, just the kitchen. And then you'll see her like get into the pool. Like, she'll just get into the pool, not even in a creepy way. She'll just get in the pool, she'll swim a little bit, and then that's it. It doesn't. These shots don't mean nothing, and it doesn't further the story along. It's like they could easily just cut this out. But this is when the worst part comes in. Okay, this is where the movie went from bad to just unwatchable. So the bad guy, turns out her and Jazz Sinclair, the crazy chick, are planning to extort the baby for money. And the guy's doing his usual thing every month. you gonna tell them that you gonna take the baby away and they gonna pay you. Whatever, dude. She doesn't want to do it because at this point the craziness is starting to come out and she's starting to fall in love with Morris Chestnut's character. And I mean, she starts like flashing her boobies at him and like sending him naked pictures at his work and visiting him out. It's typical crazy girl stuff. So when he catches wind of this, he goes like, oh, you're in love with him, but guess what? I'm gonna beat you if you don't. So she kills him.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Like, I'm gonna just say she kills him like very early on in the movie, dumps him in the basement, and he's just laying there. Now, keep that in mind. Keep that in the back of your head because this is gonna get important. While she's trying to come on to Morris Chestnut, at this point, Morris Chestnut is starting to say, okay, this girl's flipping insane. And you know, in most performances, when there's a seemingly nice girl who turns into a crazy chick, there's that little subtle switch, those little hints that tell you, oh, I don't like the way she looked at him, or I don't like the way she did that, or I don't like the way that anything. Like, it's little subtle clues to what's about to come later. And then she just flips the switch just like that. And you're just like, okay. So Morris Chestnut, being hip to this, he ends up calling Michael K. Williams. Yes, Omar from The Wire is in this movie. And he's just a guy, you don't know what he does. Like, he calls him up and he's just kind of like, yo, what you need? He says, yeah, I need you to run a back check, bro, on her boyfriend and this girl. And he goes like, all right, anything for you. And Michael K. Williams is very underutilized in this movie. He's just basically there to give exposition. He's there to explain stuff. He's basically there to say that, oh, the dude didn't get deployed to the army. He was actually discharged 2 years prior. But the important thing is that the girl, she was in mental institution. She was in a psych ward. She was raised by foster parents. Her parents died. And she has a history of mental instability. Reasons as to why someone didn't pull this background check when she became the surrogate. But this is what angered me. This is when it definitely goes unwatchable. So while he's explaining this, in the midst of him explaining this, months go by. There's a montage of her being pregnant, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you've already established that she's crazy and coming on to Morris Chestnut. So it's like, has this been going on for 9 months? Did he just keep this from his wife for 9 months? Like, did it take him 9 months to explain it? Like, I don't know why would they place this scene here. And I want to know what was going on in that 9 months. Was she still coming on to him? Was she still being crazy? Like, they just paused the movie to show you this montage of her getting bigger. And you're just like, okay, like, it's the dumbest thing. Oh my God, this movie is so crap. So now she has this big old belly. A couple months is going by and she's still sending him pictures and stuff. I can't even talk about this movie right now. So eventually the stuff hits the fan. She's like, oh, if I can't have you, then I'm going to take the baby. So literally she's like this big bellied pregnant woman just running around like, oh no, I'm disappearing. And then she, at one point, like, she says, hey, if you don't sleep with me, then I'm going to tell your wife something that'll make her leave you. I would have looked at her like, so? Because the one thing this movie has going for it is that Morris Chestnut and Regina Hall's relationship is very believable. Their chemistry is on point. I can believe that this is a married couple who's been through some stuff and that they are willing to create something special. That's it. That's the only thing this movie has going for it. That's it. So when she says that, you're like, you know Morris Chestnut doesn't care because you know his wife is going to believe whatever he says no matter what. You have no grounding in this fight. You have no dog in this fight, girl. And Morris Chestnut, like, there's no, like, lust in him. There's no reason for him to actually like her. He is the moral guy throughout the whole entire thing. You know, that kind of like takes away the tension of your movie when, you know, in most movies you have the guy who's like kind of playing with the idea of cheating on his wife with this young attractive girl, but he's just like, oh no, I'm not gonna do it from the very get-go. And it doesn't really serve a purpose in the movie. You just know that he's not gonna do anything, so it kind of just takes away all the tension. So it's like when she says that, what's the point? It's not gonna work, obviously. So when the stuff hits the fan, she goes to police, she drives away, and the police are super lax about it. They say like, oh, well, actually that's her baby because in the eyes of the law, she's pregnant with it. Even though legally it's their embryo, and she's crazy, you can look that up. So like, worst part, Morris Chestnut's character is a lawyer. He's a lawyer, and he can't figure out nothing? He's supposed to be making partner, and he can't figure out how to put this chick in jail? So when the stuff hits the fan, the wife finds out that she's crazy, and then the one scene that I was kind of like, okay, go movie, is when she says like, yo, she's in love with you, she'll have the baby if she's with you, so do whatever you have to do to get my baby back so we don't have to get it out of her and kill her. And it pretty much has this theme of what a mother's willing to do for her child, and I was like, okay, you did one thing, go movie, go movie. And then it goes right back to Poop Town. So he pretends to cheat on his wife with this girl, and he sleeps with her and does all this stuff. Doesn't like it. He just does. And then he goes back to his wife to explain like what's going on to keep her up to date. And the girl sees it. Like, she follows him and sees him cheating on her. So he's cheating on the girl he's pretending to cheat with. It's very convoluted. She basically like plots to kill the wife, and what happens is that she tricks the husband, Morris Chestnut, into going to the hospital because she says she's going into labor. Goes there, turns out they're not checked in, and then when they go back to her house, they find the dead body that's been rotting there for months. Remember that montage I told you? He was there the entire time. They find his dead body, which is like all rotted away, and he's like, oh my God. So meanwhile, the girl is beating up Regina Hall. She knocks out Regina Hall. She goes into labor. She has the baby, and Regina Hall gets in the hospital, and they find out like, oh, she's at the house with our baby. And there's this scene where she says, hey, I'm coming with you to get the baby, even though she just had a contusion and a concussion and brain cancer, but she's still willing to go fight for her baby, like within seconds of getting up. So after fighting, they say like, oh no, we both need to go together. And Morris Chestnut still ends up going in the house by himself. He ends up fighting the girl by himself. And I'm like, wait, did you say that you just wanted to go get your baby so you can wait in the car? What was the point? While in the midst of Morris Chestnut and Jazz Sinclair fighting, he looks at a case with guns in it. He looks at a case filled with rifles and shotguns. He looks at it, and then she's on his shoulders, and he rams her into the case. And then I'm just kind of like, wait, so okay, you rammed her into a case with guns. You don't take a gun. You take the baby and you get in the car. And at this point, I already know she comes out with one of the guns, and they run her over. And I'm just thinking like, wait, so by the logic of this movie, which is stupid, by the logic, you said that you could not, in the eyes of the law, take the baby away from her because technically it's her baby. Stupid, but let's roll with it. So basically, you fought this mother, you rammed her into a case, you damaged her, you possibly put the baby in danger, and you ran her over with a car without getting the police. So then at the end of the movie, like, they're in this broken down house, like there's blood and stuff all over the floor, and they're holding the baby, and they're all super happy because now they're parents. But then the police start to come, and I'm thinking, did you guys move the body? And then Morris Chestnut just says, oh, it's gonna be fine. And so he steps outside, and before the police can even show up, because I want to know what happens afterwards. Are they able to keep the baby? Will they go to jail? But instead of giving us any answers to these things, they just freeze the movie. It's like one of those freeze frames from the movies in the 90s where he's just in the window. And it took me a while to realize that he's frozen. I thought he was just looking out the window and the credits start rolling, but he's just frozen there. They end the movie on a freeze frame. All right. At the end of the day, this movie is complete and utter dog poo. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it a 0. Actually, let me give it a 0.5. 0.3, yeah, 0.3, that's the official rating. 0.3 for that one scene of where she basically whored her husband out. Alright guys, so that's my review for When the Bow Breaks. Make sure you check out a lot of my other videos. As again, thanks a lot for watching. If you like this channel, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and if you have any comments, just comment down below. And just know that I'm a dude in his room talking to a camera. Love you, and I'm